Right, here we are. Let's have a little fun. We're going to try to mess with this old cap that was cut off a boiler. I got this with a big box of parts, so it was hacked off, but I believe it was actually epoxied on the threads or something because it has not budged. Someone else tried to get it, but let's go ahead and see if we can get it off just for fun. And we'll try this really nice tool I bought that hasn't failed yet. It's done every type of cap and everything every time. So we'll set it up. We're gonna use the 3 pins if you're just doing the regular brass locking ring, but we're gonna switch it over with the plate. And you put it on the 4, and then that plate just goes ahead and screws down to the tool, and we will use it on this cap. This cap was cut off, so it just has a bit of the boiler on the bottom. And we're going to try to loosen it up. I don't know if it'll work, but it was a free bottom, came with a bunch of parts, and we'll see. We'll just make a futile attempt anyway, even if it doesn't loosen. So I am making a little mistake there. I don't know what I was thinking, but I had it tightened down onto the coils, but obviously you're not going to take the cap off because the coils are hooked up to it, so that was pretty good, but anyhow, this is my technique. And there we go. We'll see if we can move it. Then I moved it down and got it on the last bit of the threads. But I'm going to really tweak on this. We'll see if we can get it to go. And it's not... Now I'll move it down because I had that mistake of... put it on... I don't know what I was thinking, but that's pretty funny. You always live and learn, and... I don't know, but anyway, here we go. So now I'm going to hook it into just the bit of the threads that stick out. We're going to see if we can spin this off of those threads. It may be too thrashed to use, but let's do it just to accomplish something. So let's put a little tweak on it. I have that big breaker bar on the tool. This has gotten every cap off for me since I've had it, but this one doesn't budge, and the original person thought that it had been epoxied on somehow, and you could see in the first pictures there's a little bit of looked like epoxy. I soaked it in citric acid just to see if it would get rid of some of that. Maybe it was just extra calcium, but it wasn't. All right, here we go. We're going to try that again. We're in a little better position. Let's just see if this will budge at all. Yeah, that baby isn't turning whatsoever. We're going to pull that. And we'll get out the handy little torch. This is just a little mini one. It works good for heating things up, or if you want to do a creme brulee or something like that, it's pretty good. It's not a big welding torch or anything, but for what it is, it works pretty darn good. So we'll heat that up. Let's try it again, see if we got that to maybe loosen or heat up that gasket. Yeah, pull. Yeah, I don't think that's going anywhere. We'll get out the big guns. So I found this, it's just a little metal bar, hardware store, but you can slide that over that if you really want to tweak. And I have had to do this, and I've gotten a really old cap off. I have another video on that with this system. I should have done it nonstop, but we're going to pull. We got a lot of torque, but that baby isn't going anywhere. I don't want to knock everything over. This isn't like the top of the line workbench, but for the $30 or whatever it was, it's not bad. I do a lot on it, but I don't think this baby's going to go. Let's hook it in there a little better, and we're going to smack it a few times. Just try to loosen, maybe get it to just move a tiny bit. And there's 2 little nubs there you can kind of smack on. Not too hard, pretty good though, with some force. Maybe you can get it just to spin that tiniest bit, because once it's moved a little, you're way ahead of the game. We'll heat her up again. We'll see if we can loosen up that old gasket, but I have a big feeling that this was epoxied on, so We'll see if we can save it. Let's just see what happens. We'll give it a little tap. Maybe it'll loosen up the gasket and that last bit of the boiler. And we'll try it one more time. Let's just see if this baby will go. Go. Ah! Yeah, I don't think that baby's going to move. We got some heavy duty. It's just spinning a little. It's not really moving. I put a little mark on it to see if it was actually moving, but tried going backwards and then the other way again just to see if it'll loosen up that way, but nope. So let's just go make a coffee. We had a pretty good run there. We thought we were gonna get that off, but we'll just make a coffee. This is the grinder I use. The Seiko I Steel. It's a great little grinder. I know everybody keeps on moving between this grinder, of course the settle, and then the niche and all this, but really I went through quite a few grinders. I'll do a little show on them all, and this is a good grinder. It just keeps going for years. No little shims, no really weird adjustments. It just has one adjustment wheel. You work it to where you want it, and it just goes and goes, and I've never had any problem. It's simple operation. So that one's worked good. We're just going to make a couple after-work coffees here. That's just the way I do it. A lot of people like to weigh, and that's all good. Every way you make your coffee is the correct and proper way, because it's how you do it. And that's what matters. So I just kind of go the classic way. I know the amount. I've ground a lot of coffee for these over the years, so I kind of have it down to the amount I want. And we're going to get us a little pretty nice flow with the bottomless. You can see the steam one likes to drip a little, but I hate doing that little gasket and popping the knob off. That's like the one thing that is always a big hassle, but anyhow. There we go. That's this is a Hawaiian medium dark. We've been drinking that dark Kona, but we went back to the Hawaiian for a little while, the medium dark. And I've kind of switched up to just doing one pull. Sometimes I would do two with the big Electra, but I kind of went back with the dark to just doing one good pull and using a little bigger cup. We like lattes. That's what me and Ute have in the afternoons. And once in a while, a little shot, but shoot, now let's do this one. This is a little single spout. I just use it to kind of mix things up. This is the little portafilter with the little handle, but it works good. And that all comes out the same, but all of them are fun to use. So that's how you get a nice little crema. It's a great little medium dark coffee. We usually use a single source, and we live in a coffee growing region, so you have to stay loyal to your your local coffees, right? Otherwise you're a traitor to the Kona coffee. But once in a while we'll get a different coffee, but mainly we just do the Kona coffee. I'm going to trade with the guy in Texas. I got to get his address. I'm just going to send him some, and we'll see if he sends something back, and we'll switch them around. But there they are, our afternoon lattes. And that's about it. So the secret contest, whoever subscribes and comments the type of heating element will win a coffee prize, so be the first.